Welcome back to episode 5 of the Starting Floor podcast. Today we'll be going over big storylines from week 2 and then our picks for week 3 of the NFL season. I'm Tabor.
I'm Thomas. So, first storyline to get to are the Bears being 0-2. I saw a stat before the game, and the stat was not very good. It was once the Bears start 0-2, they have missed the playoffs 22 times. So, doesn't look like a good stat for them to make the playoffs, but if they can pick it up next, get on a run, they can make it do it. But being a Bears fan, Taylor, how do you feel about them starting 0-2?
There's kind of a tale of two different stories for each. Week 1, we had zero offense, where in week 2, we didn't have as much. We still didn't have a great offense, but the offense looked more complete, and then the defense looked terrible. Um, that horrible call that didn't get us to halftime I think really changed the momentum of the game and kind of just being down 7, getting the ball back, or being down 14 and getting the ball back. I think that completely changed the game. I don't know if we would have won, but I think it would have looked a little better for the Bears if that didn't happen. I think that kind of just, I mean, half our team was already walking. Ben Johnson was halfway into the locker room. Half the team, like defense is off the field walking to the locker room because they called half. And then like 30 seconds later, the ref called him out of bounds when he was tackled inbounds. So I think
Yeah,
it would have changed. I think it kind of got like that kind of ruined everybody's headspace.
definitely, definitely.
But yeah, I'd be happy with 7 wins at this point with the Bears.
Yeah, I totally agree. That call at the end of the half was the ref screwed up and really hurt the Bears in that game. So next, we got the Chiefs dropping to 0-2 and losing three straight since the Super Bowl. I know they played the reigning Super Bowl champs Eagles, but they didn't. They looked all right against the Chargers, but like they looked all right against the Eagles, but they cannot get a win, and it looked scary for them. Since the NFL has started making playoffs. 15 teams have made the playoff starting 0-2, so it's very hard to do. And as a Chiefs, I see they can do it. They get Worthy back soon. They get Rasheed Rice off the suspension, but like starting 0-2 is not good for the Chiefs, and I don't. It's looking scary for them, knowing that division is a lot better than past years. So, how do you feel about the Chiefs going 0-2?
Um, I would say I don't know if I'd be worried as a Chiefs fan. Like definitely more worried than past. That was Mahomes' first time in the NFL losing 3 straight games. That being said, one was a Super Bowl, so it's
Definitely. It's not three in a row, basically.
yeah, it technically is 3 in a row, but it's not really 3 in a row. Completely different season. Definitely not having Rasheed hurts a lot, and then Xavier going down hurts just even more. Uh, Mahomes has looked not himself. I saw a stat where his average pass length significantly shorter than it usually is. Now, granted, they don't have Worthy for speed or Rasheed, just a good route runner, all around great receiver. Um, I think they'll still make the playoffs. I think who do they play this week?
They play the Giants Sunday night.
And that's a tough one. The Giants have
Giants
looked
look good.
solid.
Their defense is
Um,
look good.
yeah, if they go to 0-3, I think the season's a wrap.
Yeah, definitely.
They're losing more of those. They've lost 2 1 possession games where last year
They
those
were,
1 possession games were wins.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Now the Buccaneers win in a close one in Monday night against the Texans. It was a great game. Buccaneers ran the ball efficiently. Baker Mayfield made plays when he needed to. And then the Texans just f fell apart last drive to give up um, the Buccaneers field goal. I'm pretty sure, yeah, field goal, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but I Texans falling 0-2 is pretty scary for them. But Bucks look great. They get Chris Godwin back in a couple weeks, I feel like, so their receiving core is gonna get better, and Mecca's really good for a rookie this year. Um, how do you feel about the Buccaneers competing in their division and even making a playoff run?
I definitely think they can compete in their division. They've had two, I mean, Baker's led them to two clutch game-winning drives, these first two wins. Seeing Baker and the bounce back he's had in Tampa, I couldn't be happier. You know, he's our local high school boy. Um, you know, he was at the lowest of lows with the Panthers. Like getting
Definitely.
cut from a team like the Panthers is kind of just like,
Even with the Browns, it
yeah.
was two terrible program.
I mean, yeah, to just and then you
Opponents.
saw him with the Rams and that and when they picked him up when he ever since that game-winning drive he had with the Rams at the end of their season, that's what he's looked like
Yeah,
these while in Tampa. Definitely think they're a playoff team. Definitely think they can also compete with in their division with a fairly weaker division.
definitely. Um, so right now, Justin Herbert, he is looking like an MVP candidate, dark horse. And I know my Oregon boy, I'm glad he's doing good. He gets all the hate. He can't win games. Ryan Clark, he hasn't won a big game at any level. He doesn't know the Rose Bowl against Wisconsin. Um, but he looks like an MVP level. I'm not gonna say it might be Madison Beer. Um, but
Matty
he's looked
effect.
great the last two games, beating Chiefs and beating the Raiders, both division opponents. And also his wide receivers are actually doing something. Ladd and then the complement with Quentin Johnson. That could be a scary team. And yeah, Amari and Hampton didn't get involved, but that just shows that they don't need to use their best back to win games. So I think the Chargers could be scary, and if Herbert keeps this up, he could be an MVP candidate.
Yeah, he right now is actually fifth on betting odds um, for MVP.
Mhm.
I've always been a big hater of him. I've always seen numbers, haven't seen. I mean, we saw what was that? Was it against the Jags? Was that his one playoff game he had, or did they make it
Yeah,
last year? Was
I
it
think,
last year? Oh, they lost to Houston last year.
yeah, it was 2 years ago, the Jags
Yeah,
game.
I mean, after I saw that, I had lost almost all faith
Mhm.
in him. That being said, Harbaugh had turned them to an 11-win program last year. Um, I don't see why they can't repeat that, especially with Quentin now catching balls, kind of playing the receiver that they drafted when they drafted him. Still like I still have to see it, but I'm obviously a Harbaugh fan, old Chicago quarterback. Wish we would have picked him up instead of Eberflus at the time,
Mhm.
or just fired Eberflus, I mean, and just picked him up. But can't be mad with Ben Johnson. But yeah, I really like the Chargers. I actually think they could win that division too.
Definitely. That division looks for the taking for the Chargers. I know the
Mhm.
Broncos are good. Chiefs could bounce back, but and then the Raiders, I don't know how the Raiders are going to do, but
Gino had a rough.
I want to add something. A big conversation this weekend was the tush push and the Eagles. Um, how do you feel about it? I have my own opinions, but I want to hear yours first. So.
I don't mind it. What I do mind, I don't think it should be banned because if it was so good, I think everyone would be playing it. And it's obviously skill play if every team can't run it effectively. It's not a broken play that every team can just pull out. Like you're punishing one team for doing a play that they're just better at than everybody else. The problems I have with it is they rely on it on drives. I don't mind it for a scoring situation, but when they get it to 3rd and 2 and you just see two tush pushes right off the bat, that annoys me. Just knowing that they really only need to get 8 yards in those first 2 to 3 downs. And then the line falls starting, and that has to get called. That just simply has to get called. It's a penalty. I get it technically isn't a penalty if it isn't called, but it is a blatant false start that needs to start being
Uh,
called.
I Not seriously what I was gonna say. I don't mind the tush push. Like if they're the only team that does it, wide
It's a
band.
football play.
Yeah, it's a football play. It's all legal. It's the penalties that or the rules that make it need to be fair. Like the guards and tackles lining up in the neutral zone, false starting. It's like you can't stop it if that happens. Like, and it's super hard for the defense to get leverage if the guards are going early and like all that. So I totally agree. It shouldn't be banned, but they need to be very strict with the penalties because it it looks like it's a penalty every time with the neutral zone and false starting. So, but
That
we
being said, I'm not sure if it gets stopped either way. Like, I don't know. It's a
yeah.
hard play to stop. At least if they're especially if they have two chances at it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So now we're getting into the week 3 picks for the NFL. First game we are on the slate is the Thursday night game, Dolphins versus Bills. The last 2 weeks, Dolphins have looked all right. Not the first week was bad, but second week that showed promise. Their defense didn't hold it up against the Patriots, but and then the Bills. They came back against the Ravens and they killed the Jets. With that being said, probably shouldn't have been on the slate, but it's a Thursday night. It's a primetime game. I think the Bills win it easily. Josh Allen's the MVP, and it's that easy.
Yeah. I agree. I think I expect the Dolphins to still look better than they have these last 2 weeks. A decent, not even really decent, I can't really say, but an improvement from week 1 to 2. And then I imagine that carries over to week 3 in their play. I still like the Bills. And personally, my pick of the week is that game going over. I can if the Dolphins can give 20 points, I think over 49.5 is very doable
Mhm.
because I think the Bills, if they put the gas on, could hang 40.
Definitely.
So if the Dolphins can give me 20 to 21 points, I'd be very happy, and I think the over is going to hit.
Okay. Next on the slate is the Rams versus Eagles. Matthew Stafford, he is Matthew Stafford. He's the veteran QB that can throw the ball pretty good. Puka looks great. Devontae Adams has scored. It's looked great for the Rams. And then the reigning Super Bowl champs, Eagles. 2-0, looked great their first 2 weeks. Yeah, they're close, but Cowboys look pretty good these last 2 weeks, and then they beat Chiefs. So, with that being said, I think the Eagles get it done. It's at Philadelphia, and the tush push wins again, I feel like.
Yeah, I really like it's just something's telling me I like the underdog with the Rams. Um, there's not much to critique against the Eagles other than their secondary is a little questionable. There's some holes in that secondary, along with if you can stop the run against this team, the passing game isn't the best, even though they have a great, not that they don't have a great receiving core. I just don't think they utilize it as much. Um, I don't know. I like the Rams.
Yeah. Next game on the slate, we got the Texans versus Jags. This doesn't look good on paper, but the two teams compared to each other, they look great. Good matchup, and it's also a division game. Texans do need to win this game going 0-2 to start the year. Jags, looked all right. Brian Thomas has not looked good. Travis Hunter's done pretty decent on the opposite side, defense side. There's some question marks still. Trevor Lawrence has been shaking. Even in the game last week, the head coach Liam Cohen and Trevor got in an argument. So we see how that works out. But Texans need a win. Um, and their O-line looked awful in the last 2 weeks. But still moving the ball pretty well. Defense has looked all right. I'm gonna go Texans because they need a win. If they don't get a win against division opponent, their season's basically over, I feel like, after this week.
Do we know how is Derek Stingley? How's his injury? I need to look that up real quick. Because I know Thomas said he went down. Anyways, that's besides the point. All right, I'll
Yeah,
give my
I'll find it. You go for it.
Um, I like you said, kind of just a mid matchup. Both teams aren't really a threat to do anything in the playoffs. I'm not a big Trevor Lawrence. I don't believe in the Prince. I just do not like him. I think he's a very overrated quarterback. He was really good in college, and his numbers aren't terrible each season, but I just doesn't win games. Granted, he doesn't have the best team around him. Texans are in a must-win situation, and CJ's in a must. Like I need it. He needs to step up his playing.
Mhm.
So I also like the Texans in this game.
As I looked at it, Stingley is not on the injury report.
Okay, perfect. I just remember one of our buddies was a Texans fan, and he was pretty upset that
Yeah.
he was at least down during the game. But yeah, the only problem I have with the Texans is they have all these offensive weapons at receiver, yet they don't give CJ any time.
Okay.
His rookie year, when he did have a decent offensive line, you saw how good he can play.
Mhm.
They need to invest in that offensive line.
Oh, definitely. So next game, we got another division matchup with the Broncos versus the Chargers. Two teams that have looked great. Broncos probably should have won last week, but that costly penalty to allow the Colts to kick the game-winning field goal.
What is that penalty?
I think it's illegal touching or something. I
But it
don't.
was like they called it something.
Yeah, it's some weird penalty that you can't touch the center, but
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
yeah. And then the Chargers have looked great the last 2 weeks, 2-0 against their division. So if they can make it 3-0 in their division, they look great to make the playoffs and maybe make a run. Still have to wait until the middle of the season to actually see if they're a good team. But with that being said, two Oregon QBs, very hard to choose from. I feel like the Broncos could get this win. Bo Nix needs to get this win. Needs to pass the ball to Cortland Sutton a couple more times in the last game. Only getting one reception, but I got the Broncos winning this game.
Yeah, I can't stray away from the Chargers yet. They haven't given me a reason to. Um, I really like what Harbaugh's doing with them. I think that's going to be looked at a great hire. I mean, you saw what he did in San Francisco before he went back to college. He took them to the Super Bowl. Um, Broncos, I still just need to see it from them. I'm not saying they're not a good team or a very solid team. They're just Bo Nix had a great rookie year and he's having a fine. There's nothing wrong with what he's doing this year. I just like I just like that Herbert is a more veteran quarterback. Harbaugh has a second year there, so I like the Chargers.
Oh yeah. Second to last on the slate, we got the Chiefs versus Giants. Sunday Night Football. Chiefs are 0-2. Giants looked really good against the Cowboys last week. Could have won that game unless it was not for Brandon Aubrey. Um, Chiefs need a win. I think it's plain and simple there. I think Chiefs are gonna win this game. Um, Still don't know about Russell Wilson. I'm a big fan in Dart coming out. I do think he needs to take a couple more games before he actually plays, but I don't know if Rush is a good QB. Like he's been multiple places last couple of years, so I think the Chiefs win this because they just need this win bad. They can't go 0-3 to start the year.
Yeah, I agree. As much as I want to take the Giants because of how they played against Dallas, um, you saw them week one against the Commanders. Russ was playing how we expected him to play, playing how I assume the Giants expected him to play. Taking Dart, you were expecting Dart to eventually become your franchise guy. Um, yeah, it's just it's a must win for those Chiefs. And if they don't win, it's a problem, but I like the Chiefs.
Yeah. Last on the slate, we got Monday Night Football, Lions versus Ravens. I think this is probably one of the best games we have this week. Lions looked really good against the Chicago Bears last week, putting up 50 plus points on them. Ravens looked shaky start against the Browns last week, but ended up killing them, and especially using multiple backup wide receivers scoring touchdowns. None of their Zay Flowers or Rashad Bateman did anything. Even Derrick Henry didn't do much. Um, so looking at that, I think the Ravens will win this game. I think the Lions, yeah, look great on offense, but I feel like that will come back down to earth. And also the Ravens defense looks good. Ravens offense is very dynamic. I got the Ravens winning this one.
Yeah, I expect to see maybe not as bad of how the Lions played week one, but they're not going to play like that against the Bears. Bears suck. Um, I like the Ravens as well. I think they're just, I mean, every year they're Super Bowl contenders until the playoffs. I mean, they're the best regular season team there is,
Hmm.
but as soon as play, so, and it's in Baltimore, so I got to go with the Ravens as well.
Okay. That will wrap up our week three pick'ems for NFL. This is the Starting Form podcast. Thanks for watching. See you
Thank
guys
you.
later.
Thank you for watching.